Everybody, I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular. I'm here with Brian Vermillion at his shop, Vermillion Enterprises in Spring Hill, Florida. Brian is a coin shop owner over here, and Brian has the know about some of these shops that are getting, allegedly shut down by their banks. Brian, are you in fear of getting shut down by your bank?
Well, hello everybody. I seek to educate and entertain through my journey of collecting coins and stacking precious metals. I encourage you to subscribe and please stay with me on this journey. I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular.
No, not at all. I got a great working relationship with them. We have our anti-money laundering policy in place, have for a long period of time, actually since the inception, and there is nothing to fear. We have a great relationship with our bank, and they make a great chunk of money off of us, which we enjoy for them, and they help us out too with the dynamics of our business. So it's a great working relationship that I am sure 100% they do not want to lose.
Okay, so why is this story so big right now where these people are saying that their coin shop is going out of business because their bank is shutting them down?
Well, I can't speak on specific shops because I honestly don't know what they're going through, but I can tell you this: there's two reasons why a bank would close the accounts of a business that is in the bullion and coin industry. One is that business does not have an anti-money laundering program in place, and that something like that looks like. Here is mine. I'm just going to cover
the secret stuff. Here.
Yes.
Down here.
So
Okay,
this is a AML program that we have, or that we do have, and this is it. It's a whole book. This is one that I bought back before we started, and we go through training every year for it. We get audited every year on our AML policy, making sure that we're doing everything right. We file the appropriate paperwork as we're supposed to, and we make sure that we don't we just follow the rules. If you follow the rules, there will be no problems with the bank or the government. People who choose not to have an AML policy in place, and I know multiple shops that do not, they can get shut down for sure because they put the bank at risk. And that's usually the case of reason why a bank will shut down a business in our industry. There's one other reason too that I've heard of, this actuality, is that a business like ours who demands high amounts of cash. So I know a dealer that was operating in Central Florida. He had a standing order with his bank at the time. I need $100,000 in cash every day. Well, that got old for the bank pretty quick, and they just were tired of having to order cash for him and having the trucks come in and out and this extra security of having the cash come in, and they just decided, hey, not that he was doing anything wrong, because he 100% was not. He was 100% following the FinCEN's rules regarding cash. It's just the bank's like, enough's enough. We just don't want you as a customer anymore because it's too much of a pain in the ass for us.
It's got to cost the banks a lot of money, right, to do all that extra work to get all that cash in.
Well, and it's risk that they don't really see a reward for on their end, would be my guess. And any business, it doesn't matter whether you're selling coins or running a bank or selling ice cream cones. If the reward doesn't exceed the risk, or the perceived risk at least, then it's not worth doing.
Now, we see this green sign over here, Brian. It says cash only, no credit or debit cards. And I think that one of the comments that we get on our videos often is, haha, what kind of business is this? It's cash only. There must be something going on there. Just, explain to people once again, why is that there? Why?
Well, we don't accept credit cards or debit cards because of the level of fraud that comes along with that. Literally every day on the local police blotter, there's at least one person, if not multiple people, who are arrested and charged locally here for some form of credit card fraud, uttering a forged instrument, which means writing a bad check, and so welfare fraud, all the way down the list of ways that they can defraud somebody. And credit cards and debit cards can often be at the center of those things. Cash money is what we accept. Also, we accept wire transfers too. And that prevents us from being defrauded. We 100% followed the cash transfer laws set forth by FinCEN, and we operate that according to our anti-money laundering program that we have in place. And it's all good. We've been audited before and came back with flying colors from once we were audited. So it's no big deal. Being audited is no fun, I can tell you that. But if you're doing everything legitimately and you got your accountant on your payroll, you just say, "Here's my books, accountant, go deal with it."
Yeah.
And then you'll come back to me when it's all said and done, and it's actually not that bad.
It's not that bad.
No, I mean it's what sucks about being audited. The one thing that really sucks about it,
I've never been audited, so please tell me.
it's not fast. So the last time we were audited, it took, I think it was like 6 months.
Whoa.
And literally for them to tell us, here's what they tell us, right? Hey, your books look great, man. Thank you. Yeah. So, but I mean, it's like, there was a whole bunch of exchanges of information back and forth, which is fine. They need to see certain things, right? And literally, it's like it took about 6 months. They're like, okay, everything looks great. Of course, I got the bill from the accountant, which was, whatever, cost of doing business.
Man.
But
That had to be a little stressful for you too.
Well,
You're probably losing a little sleep over that. For 6
yes
months.
and no. It's just like, come on, can't we do this a little faster? But it's that was really the only stressful part about being audited.
The cost of doing business. Back to this green sign for just a second and credit cards. I actually do know shop owners that were selling, silver bullion, gold bullion as well. And, these chargebacks that happen because of the credit cards cost them to stop doing, business. They couldn't afford to do it anymore. They just got hit so hard.
We're seeing it with the restaurants now. We're seeing local restaurants, they will not take plastic. And it's because there's people that will go in there and they will use their credit card, and then at some point down the line call their credit card company and say, "Oh, that wasn't me. That's a fraudulent charge." And the credit card automatically pulls the money back from the vendor without even having a discussion about it. It's not fair, but it happens all the time. So a lot of maybe not a lot, but a number of the local restaurants here now are only accepting cash because of fraud.
Yeah, I understand it. It's a shame, but I've never had a problem with the whole cash thing. I prefer it.
Yeah.
I prefer to, and hopefully this stays as long as it can stay.
Yeah.
To come into a shop with cash and say, Brian, here's my money.
Right.
Here's this form of money. I want that.
Yeah.
And then just be on my way. I'm not really trying to give you all of my information. I know that sometimes you have to request that, though. Is that right?
Well, yes. In certain instances, yes, it does trigger reporting. For example, if you came in and you bought 5 of these 1 ounce gold eagles, that's going to put you over $10,000. If you pay in cash for that, that's going to trigger a Form 8300, and that does get reported to the IRS. So that's something to make sure you understand. That is it's not a tax schedule; it's a money laundering schedule that does get reported to the IRS. And so, but it's no big deal. I've been involved with these transfers well over 10,000 times in my life. And I can tell you the number of times the IRS has called me regarding one of those transfers, whether it's me being done on me or whether it's me doing it on a customer, is 0 times. They do not care. The thing that blows my mind about the fear around using cash with the government is, who makes the cash?
The government does.
The government makes the cash. They need us to use it. And the more that we use the cash, the more that it circulates, the better it is for the government. So there's no big boogeyman that's going to jump out of the closet at night if you go into my shop or any shop. It doesn't matter whether you're buying a car or buying some gold, whatever, and you spend more than 10 grand in cash. They want you to do it. It's commerce, folks.
Statistically, historically, Brian, you know that a lot of your clientele, a lot of people watching these videos, we're conspiracy theorists, right? We got a little problem with Big Brother and stuff.
Well,
your little pamphlet over there that said the Patriot Act on there, that's some bad language, you know what I mean, for some of my fans here. Well, it is what it is. That's the nature of the beast.
That's what we have to deal with. And as long as you play by the rules, they don't care. It's when you choose not to play by the rules or you try to do an end around the rules, that's when they care. and that's when you can have problems.
So some of these shops, although you cannot speak on exactly what's happening with them, likely the bank is either like, hey, we just can't take the risk,
Right.
or they're doing something a little shady on their side, maybe that causes the bank to go, yeah, we just can't work with you guys.
Yes, well, and I believe at least in 2 of the instances, I've heard of 3 that have happened this year. 2 of the instances, super small banks, like never even heard of them banks.
Yeah.
So,
And let's face it too, some banks have been like, going under. So if there's like some chance of some, a little shakiness going on with one of their clients, they probably are like, hey, banks are going under. We could be at risk too. We got to really make sure things are good. Might have to cancel some clients.
Well, the banks going under, though, that's due to mismanagement. I don't think that's due to risk assessment.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's the way I understand it. The banks that went under were all mismanaged bond portfolios, the way I understood it. And but I don't think it's really a risk assessment associated with their clientele.
Gotcha.
I mean, I could be wrong, but
Me too.
that would be that'd be a question for our fan favorite, Jamie Dimon. Let's get him on the phone.
Jamie Dimon, get his number. You probably got his number. Go ahead.
People hate it when I bring him up. They think he's the devil.
Well, I
mean, he's got a reputation. I get it, but
J.P. Morgan doesn't typically have a strong, good feeling amongst the community.
they should. Have you seen their stock over the last 12 months?
Well, listen, that's their stock, right?
Yeah, but hey, he's doing something right.
I mean, they've done some things wrong, allegedly. I mean, that's why they've gotten sued a few times. I mean, they've paid off the...
Google's getting sued right now too by the government. Did you see that? Try to break up their antitrust.
Yeah, and they got sued a while back, too, because they were trying to get information from children.
Right. How many times do you think the magical place on Earth has been sued?
Millions, probably.
Millions, right?
Part of doing business. Isn't it?
Probably the part of doing business. Yep. So people getting sued, unfortunately, that happens.
So, okay, Brian, let me ask you this question, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that you were just totally wrong. Your bank goes, hey, Brian Vermillion, can't do business with you anymore.
Right.
Are you going to be able to stay in business?
Oh, sure.
yourself?
I got accounts with 5 different banks.
So you're good to go.
Yeah, we'll just be like, okay, no problem. I'll take my
You'll
money.
move on.
Yep, and just.
I don't want to lose you, Brian.
Yeah, no. You know what? If they all said it, then I'll just wrap up and go fishing for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That'd be all right.
What do you fish? Saltwater, freshwater?
Freshwater.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
One of those, huh?
One of them.
Come on, man.
One of them.
You're by the oceans over here, man.
Yeah, I know.
Gulf
but
of
it's-
Mexico.
I know, but it's it's fun to go inward and go into the swamps. You ever go swamp fishing?
No.
Oh man, it's a blast.
Yeah?
Yeah, you got alligators all around you. You got snakes trying to get in the boat with you.
Yeah.
You got bugs that can almost like pick you up and carry you away.
That's true. So stay out of Florida. Anybody thinking about moving, we got bugs, alligators, and snakes. You don't come.
We went to night fishing. This was like probably 2 months ago, and I took my kids night fishing for the first time. And of course the alligators come in because you got the light out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there were some good sized ones coming in. The kids were like, I'm like, hey, they're not gonna bother you. And it completely scared away the fish though. But we had a blast just messing around with the wildlife.
Night fishing.
And just messing with the alligators, and as long as the snakes stay away, it's not too bad.
I did something like that one time, Brian, with this. We took this way too bright flashlight, pretty much, and shined it in the water, blinded the fish to where they were stunned, and then we stabbed them with like this pitchfork. It seemed like it was unfair.
So that's not what we do. We actually fish the right way.
This is a legit method, I believe. I don't know.
You're gigging?
Yeah, gigging.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah. No.
Is that illegal? Did I do something wrong?
I don't know.
It was a long time ago. I believe the statute of limitations is going to be over on that one.
Yeah. But no, it's fun. Interior fishing is fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, listen, appreciate the talks and the fun, about the fishing stories, the ones that got away always, hey, listen, I'm just glad that you're still in business, that for right now, the banks aren't shutting you down. And I'm glad to get your opinion on why you think that might be happening.
Let's talk about why these stories are in the media. Well, let's not even call it media.
Let's not call it social media.
Let's call it social media.
Yes.
All right. So the first thing that everyone watching a YouTube video should understand, honestly, and this is, you have your channel, I have my channel, right? This is all for entertainment purposes. YouTube is just entertainment. So when you see other channels putting up these videos that are sensationalizing these headlines, understand that they get paid for the more people that watch their channel and watch these videos, the more they get paid. So they try to make them as sensationalist as they can. Just like you see these videos, like the 1989 Lincoln cent. Oh, you could have this $800 penny in your coin collection and not even know it. The more people they can get clicking and watching those videos, the more money those channels make. So a lot of information, especially in our industry, is predicated on fear. I call it fear mongering. It sucks, but it's out there, and there's more of that out there than I think grounded channels like yours or mine, where we actually just talk about the facts or the price.
Well, I think the serious problem is not so much that you're talking about something that's relevant, that's going on. You know, if a coin shop does fail or fall because of the bank's closing, you know, that's news. But the problem is when you see it 50 times across all these different channels, and they're all jumping on that same bandwagon, and it creates a fear. And that fear, you know, starts to pretty much become fake news at some point.
Well, I agree with that. And also, it's the way it's spun, right? Rather than saying, "Hey, shop, you know, John Joe's shop in, you know, whatever, Shelbyville, Illinois," right? For example.
Good makeup right there.
Yeah, exactly, right. And I was just thinking of The Simpsons. So, you know, if his shop gets closed by his bank, that doesn't mean he's shut down. Did any of those shops that the bank said, "Hey, we don't want to do business with you anymore," did they close? I don't think so. They're still open for business. They're just having to restructure their financial situation, which, hey, businesses do that all the time. And not just businesses in our industry, businesses across all sectors of industry are constantly restructuring their finances to whatever makes sense for that industry or that company. And that's something that happens all the way from your local ice cream seller to all the way up to you know, the ABC companies. And I mean, if you know, Mark Cuban's a very open person, I think, when it comes to talking to business. I wonder how many times he's restructured his finances, dropped banks, moved from banks, got back, went into new banks, dropped those banks, went back to old banks. I mean, it's probably countless times.
Cost of doing business.
Yeah, it's just part of it, right?
Yeah.
And so the sensationalism, I think, is unfortunate because it makes people make rash decisions. We saw this nonsense with bricks, right? You know how many people came into my shop who were just terrified that the dollar was going to collapse overnight when they had their BRICS meeting in August? I mean, it was just, I was hearing it every day.
Yeah.
And it's because they were watching this garbage on YouTube, and they were thinking it was real.
Well, you know, since I've started on YouTube, I remember the topic of the financial collapse and, you know, all this stuff has been a topic for a decade plus.
Right.
And people are like, hey, you got to buy whatever silver you can, whatever gold you can, because that financial collapse, that, you know, collapse of our economy is just coming.
Right.
And every single time they put that comment out there, I'm like, okay, when? Like, you know, like,
when is this? Yeah.
There's definitely going to be some hard times all the time.
Well, how many? The first date that I remember someone putting out there where something like that was going to happen was Y2K, right? You know, it's the turning over of the digital clock.
Too many zeros at once, man.
Too many zeros at once, right? And of course, nothing happened. I mean, we've had dozens upon dozens upon dozens of dates where put in front of us for one thing or another. I mean, look how many dates they put with the Comex failing. How many days have we been told over the last 5 years that the Comex is going to fail?
Mm-hmm.
And
Silver squeeze is going to help that, right? Remember that?
Yeah. So, and it's the reason why certain people keep putting these things out there is to sensationalize the situation, to get you to watch or click on their link or whatever, and that drives up their ad revenue. That's all that is.
Do you think anybody's upset with the people that preached on the silver squeeze when they bought silver at
for sure.
Those extreme levels? Do you think they're upset with them?
Absolutely. I hear, I'm not going to mention their names out of respect, but there's one person on YouTube that that is really heavily invested in that storyline, and he's constantly being shit on by customers that come in the shop because they realize they were basically a snake oil salesman, and also people online are constantly dumping on him. I'm not going to mention his name out of respect, but I mean you probably already know. But it's Yes, they are onto them, and understand that it was all BS just to drive sales.
Yeah. And apparently the person that came up with it, or one of the people, got pretty rich off of the community after they donated money and did all these things. And they, I guess, misappropriated the funds, took a lot for themselves, and then they just left. They just hid now.
Yeah.
Isn't that stuff sad? That's all right.
It is sad.
Oh, well, what can you do?
It's all you can do is what's put in front of you. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, this is put in front of me right now, Brian. So,
buy it.
Hey, I might think about it.
There you go.
Slowly though. I can't be doing all at once now, Brian. Come on
Well,
now. You know, little by little. You know,
You gotta do what you gotta do.
baby steps.
Yeah. That's the number one rule that anyone investing in silver or gold or really anything, right? Doesn't even matter. With Michael Jordan rookie cards, never, ever, ever overextend yourself.
Because why?
Why? Because it is tomorrow. The water heater may go out, or the garage door may fail, or your daughter needs to have her wisdom teeth taken out. Something, right? And all of a sudden, you bought this gold eagle at a 5% premium. Oh my God, 3-4 days later, I got to go sell it, and you're selling it at a 2% premium, and you're losing 3%.
How many times, Brian, in your how long you been in the shop right now?
This shop's been open for just over 9 years.
Okay, so in this 9-year time you've had this shop, how many times, approximately, give or take, have you seen somebody buy one of these 1 ounce, eagles, gold eagles, silver eagle, whatever, and then like a week later have to sell it back?
Oh, it's countless.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to enumerate it. Countless times, and maybe not just the week timeline, but a month timeline. Always, and of course, most times, 99% of the times, they're taking a loss on it. So, but it's because they overextended themselves, and it's exciting, especially when you get new into investing in precious metals. You want to gobble up as much as you can, right? And especially if you're hearing the stuff on YouTube where it might not be available.
The fear.
So it's easy for people to overextend themselves.
I saw a guy. I don't know if you remember this, but I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago when I was in your shop, and he just came in, said, "I want 3 silver eagles."
All right.
And that was it. And he bought them and left.
Yeah, that happens all the time for sure.
But that's it. I mean, the guy can't afford it to. It's not his
Right.
time right now.
Yep.
But
And,
that 3 this week, 3 next week, whatever.
Yeah, and that's the proper way to do it for him. That way he doesn't overextend himself, and he's staying regimented. So at the end of the year, he'll have a good 150 ounces or so, and that's what's appropriate for that guy, and he's being responsible about it. He's not coming in and buying a tube and then having to come back 4 or 5 days later and selling me half of it back.
Yeah.
And so it's that's
I just thought that was interesting. I saw the 3 and I was like, man, that guy's actually kind of doing it right there. That's kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's all relative, right, to your financial situation.
Yeah. Brian, once again, I think there's enough information right here, but I'm also going to put it down below in the description of the video so people can see everything. They can click on little links, bada bing, bada boom, get your information. Again, Brian Vermillion. He uses the same last name for the first name of his company right here, Vermillion Enterprise.
What's that about?
What is that about? What did you do that for?
Well, I did that for the fact that it should stand out, right? Hey, Spring Hill Coin Shop. Well, all right, there's like 8 Spring Hills.
Yeah.
It's back to the Simpsons, right? How many Springfields are there?
Yeah.
And it's just, hey, it's me. I believe in transparency. So you call up an online bullion dealer, you don't know who you're talking to. You don't even know if they're in the country, right? And you come do business with me, you're doing business with the owner who puts his name on it.
Isn't Vermillion like a color green? Isn't that what it is?
It's like a purple-red brickish color.
Way off from green.
Well,
Okay.
you got the color right, though.
I mean, it is a color. Okay.
It is a color,
I
right?
think it's a Slipknot song.
It is a Slipknot
and
song,
that's,
too.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
And then you. That's.
What's your Slipknot mask look like?
I don't have one.
You don't have the old Black Plague mask?
No.
I can see you wearing that.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. Maybe for this Halloween, we'll see.
Yeah.
I gotta find something to dress up as.
Yeah.
What are you gonna dress up as?
A grumpy coin dealer.
That's you.
There you go.
Good, man. You're in costume
I'm
already.
in costume already.
That's cool.
I'm only grumpy because I haven't eaten, folks.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
just enjoy your core water.
Yes.
And then just you'll be fine with that only. Brian, again, thank you for this information. I appreciate you getting this to us as a coin shop owner
Yep.
that has the truth, the real information, not trying to sensationalize anything, just getting the facts out there.
You want to talk something kind of interesting I learned the other day?
Sure, we got a couple more seconds.
Platinum. So the mint, those are 1 ounce platinum eagles there. The mint, which for all intents and purposes is not, kind of the vibe in the coin industry is not being well managed. So they attached a premium to their platinum eagles for 2023 platinum eagles that came out of I think it was $130 is what they charged their authorized dealer over the spot price of platinum.
And right now, platinum's about 900-ish.
Yeah, right at 900. So they were charging basically, so platinum was 900, they were charging the ADs like 1,030 for it. It was in that ballpark, give or take, which is too high of a premium, right? If they would have done like 5% over or something, it would have been a lot better. They ended up eating like 60 or 70%, don't quote me on that number, but 60 to 70% of all their platinum eagles.
Ooh.
Yeah. So 2023 platinum eagles going to be pretty super low mintage because the rest, a lot of them, over half of them for sure got destroyed.
So 2023, buy them?
Well, here's the thing. Here's what's interesting. This is from another AD that, and when I say AD, it's an authorized distributor for the U.S. Mint. I think there's 9 of them here in the country. And so these are people who the Mint directly sells the bulk bullion to, and then they sell them to guys like me, or guys and gals. So got to be inclusive. So, absolutely. 2023. And so they may not make 2024 Platinum Eagles because there is such a low demand for the 2023 Platinum Eagles. We may not actually get Platinum Eagles in the future. So that's
interesting.
Yeah. And
I still can't understand why platinum is staying so low, why palladium is so low.
well, it's all industrial-based metals. It's not really what people speculate.
We don't need catalytic converter for electric cars. We don't need them.
They don't need platinum. It turns out, and it seems like that the industrial demand for these gray metals definitely has waned, and so there's just not the demand for it. I mean, rhodium was like 17,000 an ounce. And so, but here's what industry does, right? It's kind of like the Jurassic Park. Mother Nature will find a way. Well, all right, if an industrialist has this and it costs him $1,000 for this, how can I stop using this for $1,000 and use one of these for $25?
Right, that's the way it works.
That's the way it works, right? So as technology advances and they can get away from these expensive gray metals, then the price of these gray metals goes down, which we've seen significant reductions in platinum, palladium, and rhodium. Rhodium was, I looked at it today, I think it's like $4,000 an ounce, right? Which, is double gold.
I thought it was like 20-something thousand.
It may have gotten that. So it's down, 80%.
That's crazy.
So
it sounds like Bitcoin.
And well, rhodium was the Bitcoin of the precious metals world for a little bit. Maybe it still is. But that's an 80% drop. Can you imagine if gold dropped 80%? If gold, you wake up tomorrow and gold's $400 or $500.
That's heartbreaking.
That drop on rhodium and palladium was precipitous. So it wasn't like it was over years it came back down. It came back down in weeks.
Yeah.
Like significant drop. So it's but that's kind of interesting. This 2023 might be the last year of Platinum Eagles.
Wow, you heard it here first.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, the mintage is super low on 23s, and they may not make them for 24s because there was just no demand.
Let's see, man. If you got some 2023s, let me know. Right now, these are 2022s.
We got some if you want. We got some.
Are they going to be the mint prices?
Well, right now we're selling Platinum Eagles at the spot price plus 145 per ounce. So, which is, that's too much. But at the same time, my cost is 120 over.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
You're really making hardly any money off of those.
Yeah, I'm making 2%.
That's low.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the bullion industry, though.
Yeah. It's quantity.
It's quantity. That's right. At the end of the year, I don't know what it is. Every year since inception, our profit margin when it's all said and done, what we net out is like 7%. And so there's a little bit extra juice when we buy things like gold scrap and collectibles, right? But the bullion, because it is like a 2% margin across the board, 3% margin, it brings it down to like that 7% range. Like religiously, that's what we kind of fall in. That's the life of a bullion dealer.
Brian, don't make any mistakes because that starts to eat into that percentage.
Well, no, and of course, when you're doing a volume, mistakes happen. It just, that's nature, right? It doesn't matter what you do. I don't care what you do. You're an auto mechanic, you're a doctor, whatever. Mistakes happen, and those cost money. And that does attribute to the bottom line being a little bit lower than you would like it to be. But I mean, that's true for any industry. That's not just our industry.
All right, Brian, well, listen, stay in business.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you know what you're doing. You got multiple banks. You got core water in case you need it.
We're staying hydrated here, folks.
Good job, man.
What are you going to get paid for from Cord for product placement?
I don't know. I got to talk to him.
Yeah, what is this?
How do you like that water? Is that really tasty?
It's all right. I like it.
No, say how good it is. It's got to be good.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
If you would like any information on this, write to Keurig at Dr. Pepper and attention customer service.
Oh, Dr. Pepper makes it? So you must be good.
So.
That's the one soda I used to drink. That's great.
I guess so. It's yeah.
Brian, it's gotten ridiculous here, but
It's perfectly balanced.
Thanks for all the information.
All right.
You heard it here first with the 2023 Platinum Eagles. We'll see how that goes. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But again, Brian's information down in the description of the video. And Brian, let's do this again shortly and give people more information as we can get it out to them. The good information.
Sounds good. I appreciate you stopping in.
All right, Brian. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
When I was a kid, we did this every day in school, and I believe we need to bring this back a little bit, and I'm going to start right now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.